Hi everyone, Morgan here. So today I am going to be talking to you about my no-till desert garden. I'm going to be talking to you about the whole process, about why we put up pallets and the bird netting and all this. But first I wanted to show you some pictures and just talk to you about our general thought process for wanting to do this, how we put it all together, why we put it all together. So let's get to it. I went down quite the rabbit hole when it came to no-till gardening and getting to the actual no-till garden. Like, I was going to till up the garden, and then I talked to my friend and I was like, you know what about no-till? I had talked to people and seen like the Back to Eden, and I didn't like that. So I decided to clear the space and actually get it ready for the garden. So the first thing I did was I took out all of the containers and the one bed, and then I started to spread some of the dirt down below, like from the containers and stuff like that, just excess dirt and things like that. And then we had to take out a mesquite tree. The kids were very helpful. One of our friends, one of our neighbors came over and helped actually pull the root as much as we could of the mesquite, but the whole family chipped in. That was quite the experience. So then we started to get a whole bunch of dirt. We got our dirt from the city. Now we are putting in the poles. The poles went in with cement. All those poles were cemented in. We waited about 24, 48 hours before we started using them, actually connecting things to them. Oh, the cats were so helpful during this whole process. Okay, so then we decided on pallets for a windbreaker. We get high winds here, so it was very important to us to have a windbreaker, and pallets would be a good windbreaker. So then we decided to do hardwire to keep rats out. The hardwire was all around. It actually helped to stabilize the pallets a little bit, but the hardwire is there, just keep basically, any little critters out. We would have done just the hardwire, but I wanted the pallets for the windbreak. Then decided to put straw down and spread that all about. Ooh, looks so pretty with the straw. Just wonderful. So the straw was the first layer, and now is the second layer, which is manure. We got some free manure, and then I bought some manure. But then came the bird netting. This was kind of the most important part because birds are our greatest enemy. We put it up in the wind. We tried to put it up when it wasn't so windy, but then it got really windy. And it was kind of a nightmare to put in sometimes. But once we got it up, it was just gorgeous. It looked amazing. Husband put some guide wires all from like post to post, and made sure that the bird netting was going to not droop so bad, but we stapled the bird netting into the posts and into as you can see, husband here stapling them. But we stapled it down so that, it wouldn't be just randomly flying around. But birds are our greatest foe. So I waited until we got the bird netting, and then we got the bird netting and I could finally move forward. But I think it just looks amazing with the bird netting, the pallets, and just everything. So finally, I was able to actually put the soil down on top of the compost. So I did that. I spent a long time, it was kind of a process. You got to do just one row at a time. Okay, so this is my no-till garden, and essentially what it is, I looked a lot into it, and with no-till gardens, usually it's like some sort of cardboard or newspaper down below. But the reason that they do that is because of like worms and things, like it'll compost down. Well, we don't have worms here. There's nothing down below that would compost that down. So I put all hay down, and then what I'm going to do is, after planting and once things start to actually sprout, I'm going to put more hay above, and then so this will stay below, and then the hay will go down around the plants to keep in that moisture. And so the soaker hoses will still, give lots of, give all the water to the plants, without being on top of the hay. It's below the hay. But I always have to keep this door closed because the cats and dogs want to come in here and destroy it. Even when I'm in here. It'll be okay for a minute. Okay. Anyway, so you know, the pallets have been going through 40-mile-per-hour winds, and I'm pretty impressed with the pallets, I gotta say. But we have had to put some braces, but the braces could actually be working in our favor, like especially because I'm going to be doing beans and stuff. So I can use the braces for the beans. You know, it's not like they're not going to be used. I think that they can definitely be used. But you know, I'm going to be putting some more poles for the pole beans and stuff. But anyway, you know, we've had to put some braces. Not all pallets are equal, okay? We got all these pallets for free, but if you look at this pallet, like, not good at all. That pallet is awful. But if you come over here to these beautiful pallets, these are just beautiful, brand new pallets. They look wonderful and they're strong and sturdy. So not all pallets are created equal. You know, those have definitely been through some stuff. Okay, like all of these, you can kind of see the difference down there, the pallets. But you know, I know that my rows are definitely not equally spaced. You know, they're not perfect. They are totally all over the place. But you know, and I may decide that no-till gardening's not for me. Maybe I'll do some small beds that will basically be kind of like this, but I'll put bricks. You guys have seen the bricks, the brick garden beds that go along here. People have made garden beds out of the bricks instead of the wood, like this. Like this garden bed is made of wood, but instead of doing wood, you would do, you know, like the cinder block bricks, which I think is such a smart idea. But this garden bed, I did have 2 garden beds, and I'm kind of wishing I left the other garden bed. People told me to leave it, and I should have listened. But I left this one. This is all carrots. But I actually filled this thing up with carrots, so I'm just waiting for them to sprout now. Okay, so the garden netting has worked, the bird netting has worked just stupendously. It keeps the cats out, and it has kept the birds out. I've actually just absolutely loved the garden netting, the bird netting. And I will say that one of the things that was so smart that husband thought of was putting the paracord up here to give the bird netting somewhere to rest. So it's not just totally loopy like over there where it's all droopy down there. But I think that's from the cats. One of our female cats likes to get up here and like get in it and like use it as a freaking hammock. And so anyway, but it's been keeping the birds out. Nothing has been in here as far as I can tell. And you know, this has been a few month project. And so what I will say is in the future, we may put like another post just kind of in between, you know, the pallets so that they're not tipping over so much. But the hard wire really did help support this, like keep it all together. The hard wire really did help with that. So anyway, so far so good. I'm loving it, and I'll be adding to it and planting and see as the sun gets higher, I'll be able to plant a little bit more places. I would like one more row right here, but as the sun gets higher and higher, I'll be able to actually plant on that side. But yeah, I'm just super thrilled with how this came out. It's not the prettiest. Nope, it is not the prettiest. But it's been working. It really worked as a nice wind barrier. You know, some wind gets in obviously, but it definitely works to just break up that harsh wind. You know, we're getting 40+ mile-per-hour winds, and it's been stable. Again, maybe with a couple braces, but in general, stable. Nothing has toppled over or gotten crazy or anything, so. I hope that you will join me on my gardening journey. This is my first time really having like an actual desert gardening. I've done container gardening here, and I'm doing my greenhouse, but this is the first time that I'm actually, you know, doing like a legit desert garden. You know, especially the no-till way is also brand new for me. So this will all be exciting. I hope you will join me on my journey and see the progress and see the success and the failures and what I've changed and all that. So thank you all so much for watching Conquer Tomorrow by Preparing Today. I'll talk to you later. Bye.